And while we are on the subject of the Bundesliga, we must talk about just some of the players that Bayern Munich have been linked with at the moment. Names like Luis Diaz, Nicol and Xavi Simons, Christopher Nkunku, Leandro Trossard and Rodrygo from Real Madrid. What do you want to talk about here?
Well, it's easier to take a rant of Bayern Munich at the moment because there are so many funny things. I mean, it would be more like a roast because it's funny because Max Eberl say, I need to save money. I need to save money. I need to save money. And then he's interested in players coming from English football, and you know it's going to be very, very expensive. So this is the head of sport, Max Eberl, who tries to get these players in. Williams, he was supposed to go to Bayern if he couldn't get a registration at Barcelona. He couldn't get a registration at Barcelona and signed like a 10-year contract for Bilbao. Now it's Diaz. I think Diaz is playing Bayern. I think that Liverpool want him to stay. I think that he will end up staying there. And if he prefers to go, I think he will go to Barcelona. And I don't believe this thing that he said, I want to go to Bayern. He's probably say, yeah, I could go with you if. And we forget the ifs. So, and to make this, more funny is that now they're doing Woltemade, that I think that would be the best signing they do because he's a German young player who's had a great season. He was good now at the Youth European Championship now. He would be perfect for them coming in. And Woltemade, negotiations, that is the CEO Dresden doing. What is that all about? So Max Eberl, he's going all the way around the world looking for players. But when they try to get Dresden, now they try to get Woltemade, then Dresden is doing things. And then Stuttgart said, well, we won't let him go under 80 million. So the first offer from Bayern was 40. And then I offered this morning, apparently, 50. And so I don't get Bayern at the moment. I don't get their strategy. Talking about Liverpool have a great strategy. At the moment, Bayern Munich are struggling big time. And maybe for you boys, if they get Diaz, say that they get Diaz, is that so much better than what they're having on that position? Is he so much better than Gnabry? I'm just asking.
Is there anything to do with Rodrygo when we talk about who could be going to Bayern? Because we've seen his name linked there, Jan. Apparently
not. The last things from German sources is that he is not on that. They love in Germany. They have this list, the Bayern list. They have so many names on that list. It's unbelievable. But apparently he's not on there, so there must be something wrong.
It must have been AI.
Must have been an AI. Yes, everywhere these days.
Would Diaz be an upgrade at Bayern, you think, Stevie? Obviously, they've lost Sané. They know that Muller's gone. Musiala's injured at the moment.
Well, I think the potential for Rodrygo is there, as opposed to, you know exactly what you're getting now in Gnabry. Rodrygo's obviously younger.
If it was Luis Diaz?
Oh, Luis Diaz.
I know you're going to be able to talk about him at length.
Yeah, listen. The only problem is he's 28. You know, you're going to have to pay 70-odd million for a 28-year-old. I'm not so sure. Listen to Jan when the sporting director's talking about saving money. I don't suppose everybody around him is going to be very carried away if he spends 75 mil or something like that on a 28-year-old. So, is he an upgrade? Maybe just, but again, it comes back to, do you pay 75 mil for somebody who, let's say he is an upgrade, but how big of an upgrade is it? It's not that big of an upgrade. So why would you go and spend 75 mil? That would be my thought process.
Yeah, you wonder if that transfer window is getting a bit thinner for a player like Rodrygo, though, as well, because we're hearing all these players linked with other teams, big money being paid for them. Then you wonder what his options would be if he were to leave Real Madrid.
And I mean, a lot of things come into question when you're talking about Rodrygo. Price, what is his best position, how many clubs are in desperate need for a player of that position, and maybe the price that Rodrygo would command. So that for me is a big challenge around Rodrygo. And while I know we're only a few days out from the end of the Club World Cup, the longer it goes in the summer window, I just feel like it's closing quicker on Rodrygo than most other people because of there are only a handful of clubs that can afford for, or will go for Rodrygo. So you just have to wonder for him in that regard. I'll also say though, and Jan spoke about Luis Diaz and the preferred club being Barcelona. While that may be true, I don't know where he fits at Barcelona. So while, you know, to Stevie's point, it may be only a small upgrade and maybe not worth the kind of money that will cost, I'm not sure that he fits at Barcelona either. So it's something for Luis Diaz's representation to think about.
When it does come to Bayern, though, Jan, they've got to do something, haven't they? Because back to that point of the players that have now moved on and the fact that Jamal Musiala is injured, what are they going to have to do before the season starts?
Yeah, it's interesting because you just feel they don't have that strategy. On one hand, you have to save money. Then you lose Leroy Sané, you lose Thomas Müller, you lose Musiala on an injury. And I still think when we will speak in a couple of weeks, we'll talk about the favorites to win the Bundesliga. I will still put Bayern up front there. I don't think that the other teams are good enough to take it domestically. But that's not the level of Bayern. The level of Bayern is to do well in the Champions League, to go all the way, to compete with the best. They also had great ambitions at the Club World Cup to go all the way. So they need new players. I mean, maybe now they have found, with Tar, they have found a reliable defense. We'll see how that works out. But the interesting thing is that we could put Gittens. Gittens was also linked to them. Remember that? They called him up the day he was they called Dortmund the day he had his medical for Chelsea. I mean, that is not good work in my book. I think that, but they're desperate to get someone, and I know the Germans, I know how they will think. They will probably end up getting Rashford on a 1-year loan, and he will be sold in as the biggest thing since Lionel Messi. That is the way you just feel this develop. I've seen that before with Bayern because they need a big name. And I can see now the people who are writing in and around Bayern, Rashford is getting better and better every day. I mean, he was fantastic at Aston Villa, apparently. I didn't see that, but he was fantastic when you see some people in Germany. So I think that could end up with a loan of some way.